Hello, everyone. Welcome to the announcement of the 2021 NFL football season. We are going to start off with our Week 1 picks to start off the year. I am doing another Pigskin Pick'em again this year. I sent the link to a couple of my buddies that I know they'll join soon, but we're just going to go through these pick by pick here to see how it's going to go and what I think is going to happen. We start with the Thursday night game on September 9th. The Dallas Cowboys are going to Tampa Bay. It's going to be interesting. I believe this Tampa Bay team is going to be a lot more deadlier this year on offense. They have more weapons for Tom Brady to use, and Tom Brady's now had a whole year in the system, and he didn't even have a whole year with them last year, and he ended up winning the Super Bowl. Their defense is the questionable part. Their defense is not good in terms of deep corner situation and their safeties. They're going to get found out there if a good team has a good quarterback in it, like the Cowboys who have Dak Prescott, but also with him, he has a nagging shoulder and arm injury right now. He just came back from surgery last year in that gruesome ankle injury. We also don't know how Ezekiel Elliott is going to do. But according to this, the line is 7.5 favored to the Bucks. If you're gamblers out there, I don't suggest it, but if you wanted to gamble in this game, that's a spread that you want to take, that the Cowboys will cover it. You want to put something on it. That's one where you should take. But I'm taking this game. I think Tampa Bay is going to win this game. They're going to want to start off on a good year, on a good start, get out 1-0, and just hope they're all going to win their division. I'm going to say it right now. They're going to win their division straight out. It's just now in terms of how many games they're going to win now in the official 17-game season. Then we start with the first batch of games on September 12th, where I'm banking on this. There's going to be some sort of either a couple minute delay in terms of the opening of the games for September 11th, recognizing the 20th anniversary of a tragedy that happened in America, but it's probably going to happen on this day. They're going to have to, especially in New York. There's going to be something for the Giants that they're doing, but for the Giants. I'm thinking this game, Eagles going to Atlanta. Jalen Hurts starting his first game as officially being the starter for the Eagles. This is interesting. I actually am picking the Falcons to win this game. I think, actually, you know what? No, I'm going to backtrack that. I'm going to pick the Eagles to win this game. I think it's going to be very close. This is a game where, for Matt Ryan, considering this is the first time we're going to see Matt Ryan without Julio on his entire team. This is a new offense in terms of, yes, they have Calvin Ridley. They still got their weapons at offensive line and defense. But how is Matt Ryan going to do now without Julio? Julio was his main target in terms of, he's a big guy. I know if I throw the ball up there, he's going to grab it, other than these corners who are a lot smaller than him. It's going to be very interesting this year for the Falcons, but I think the Eagles are going to start out okay. I think this game's going to be actually pretty close, even based off the line. 3.5 points? That is not a good situation, because I do believe this is actually going to be a field goal game, and I believe the Eagles are going to win it in a very, very close fashion, and considering that they lost to this team last year when they played them, there's going to be a lot of remnants from some of those players who were on that team last year who they should have won, but they dropped easy plays. But I think the Eagles are going to win this one, and it's going to be pretty close. And then we come to the Steelers going to Buffalo, and I am a Steelers fan. I love this team a lot, and I loved the new additions that they picked up this year, especially with Melvin Ingram, the defensive end. That was a great pickup. A lot of defensive players that we got in the draft I like. The offensive line is going to be the question mark for me this year. There are 4 new starters, actually a lot of new starters on the offensive line, but 4 of them are brand new. 2 of them, I believe, are rookies, if not 3 of them. So it's going to be very interesting this year. The offensive style I like so far, based off the little bit we have seen in the preseason. This Ben's going to be a lot behind the center, a lot more. Not a lot in the shotgun position, which is actually good for him. He's getting the ball off to the running back, Najee Harris, who is a godsend if he can be something really good in the run game. We know he's going to be great in the passing game, but if he can be something in the running game like he was in Alabama, it's going to be very good this year for the Steelers in terms of their offense. Defense, I have no problem with. They just need to sign TJ. Sign TJ. But I think this is going to be a pretty good game. I'm picking the Buffalo Bills to win this one, though. Unfortunately, I don't trust Pittsburgh when it comes down and late. I understand this is Pittsburgh. I'm going against Pittsburgh, but there's something about the Bills. They have all these weapons, and Josh Allen just came off getting his massive contract this offseason. He's got a lot to prove this year, considering that he and Patrick Mahomes are favorites to come out of the AFC. He's got to prove a lot this year, Josh Allen does. And why not have the first game against a Steelers team in your stadium and make a statement against them? The point spread's 6.5. I believe it's actually going to be probably less than 6 points for this game. I think Steelers are going to lose by 5, and it's going to be very close for the majority of the game. But I'm going Buffalo Bills to win this one against my better judgment. But again, until I see something other than that, I'm going with Buffalo. Then we have the Minnesota Vikings going against the Bengals. This is, again, Joe Burrow's coming back from having his ACL and MCL destroyed last year with that horrible offensive line. He's got a lot. He's got a former wide receiver he had at LSU going there for his rookie year. It's going to be very interesting. They did not do much in terms of upgrade the offensive line, which is a little bit of a concern if I'm Joe Burrow. But who knows? Excuse me. But I feel as though he's been a year now in the system. He knows this offense a lot more. And we've seen in his rookie year, even when he had a crappy offensive line, he was throwing 300-yard games. He knows what he's doing. He's a good quarterback. He just has a crappy offensive line. But I'm picking the Vikings to win this one. And it's only for the fact that they have Kirk Cousins, who is experienced. They have Justin Jefferson, who was the offensive rookie of the year last year. And he should have been. And they have a defense that's probably arguably one of the best in the NFC. I won't say it's top 5, but it's in the top, half of the NFC. But 3.5-point favorites Minnesota are in Cincinnati, which is actually pretty good. I actually would bet the over in that situation. I think they're actually going to go in there and destroy the Bengals. The Bengals are going to try and bring it close at the very end, but the Vikings are going to win this one pretty big. I think Vikings will win this by maybe 8 points. That's pushing it. I think they're going to win by a touchdown, but I think the Vikings are going to win this one. Next, we have the 49ers playing against the Detroit Lions. Now, this is a new Detroit Lions in terms of the Detroit's also hosting this, but they have Jared Goff, who was the former number 1 pick in the draft that had Carson Wentz, which is now, this is funny. This is the same year we have Carson Wentz going to the Indianapolis Colts, who we don't know if he's even going to start week 1. But we're not talking about him. We're going to talk about this team. Jared Goff is in a new system. He thought he was the man in L.A. Then he realized after the Super Bowl, okay, maybe L.A. doesn't think he is the man, and they got rid of him for Matt Stafford. But this is interesting because this is a quarterback situation in terms of if Garoppolo does horrible this game, the little fans that are going to be there in Detroit that are 49ers fans are going to be screaming for Trey Lance to start. We all know this is going to happen. Even though Trey Lance broke his finger in the final game of the preseason, and he's going to be out for, I think they said a week. I think it was a week from the moment he broke it. He should be ready to go for this game as a backup in that case, and that's on his throwing hand, but he should be good to go. But I'm picking the 49ers to win this one. I do not trust Jared Goff at all in terms of this. I don't think he's going to do well in Detroit. I honestly do not. I think he had a situation in L.A. where it was set for him. It was set for him, and then he had 2 crappy years and during the years in terms of certain points of the year, and that kind of basically lost him the job and forced the team to trade him. But other than that, I think the 49ers are going to win this one. They're 7.5-point favorites, which is pretty big, I would say. But against this team, Detroit, it's not very that much big. I would bet the under in this game. I think Goff is going to try and keep it close, but I'm going to bet the Niners will win by 5 points in this game. Detroit is going to lose this game. Niners are going to win it. Then we go to the Arizona Cardinals up against the Tennessee Titans. This is really good. This is going to be really, really good. We have the new addition, Julio Jones, in Tennessee with A.J. Brown, with Derrick Henry, and Ryan Tannehill. This is going to be an offense that players in fantasy and in the NFL are going to be watching to see how does he work with this team. How is Ryan Tannehill going to handle all these weapons around him? But we also have Kyler Murray, who's an up-and-coming superstar in this league. He's a really good quarterback, really mobile. He's got DeAndre Hopkins. He's got Larry Fitzgerald, who's probably this is his final year. And he's got a couple other... He's got James Conner, a former Steeler. He's got Chase Edmonds. It's going to be a very fun year for him in terms of he's got to take that next step. He's got to take that next step in his second or third year in the NFL. I believe it's third. So he's got to take that next step. I believe they're going to... I actually pick in the point spread is the Titans are going to win by 3 points in this game. I'm expecting the Titans to win this game. I'm expecting them to at home with Julio Jones. But you know what? I'm going to go against it. I'm picking Arizona Cardinals to upset the new basically roster of the Tennessee Titans. I just don't trust that Ryan Tannehill is going to have a third good year, and I don't think Derrick Henry is going to have a third good straight year because he's eventually going to wear down. He can't be doing what he's been doing at running back for much longer based on how many times he's running the ball a game. So I'm going with the Cardinals winning this game, and it's probably going to be it's probably going to be a field goal, I'm going to guess. Field goal game for the Cardinals. Then we go to the Seattle Seahawks up against the Indianapolis Colts, who, again, we don't know if Carson Wentz is even starting that game. Is the rookie for the Colts going to start? We don't know. We won't probably find out till literally 3 days before the game. So we probably will find out on Wednesday or Thursday whether or not who the starter is. But I'm actually going to go pick the Seattle Seahawks to win this game. Seattle's favored by 2.5 in Indianapolis. That's even without knowing Carson Wentz or the backup's going to be there. I bet the over in this case. I think the Seahawks are going to win by 7 points, and they're going to want to shut this team out early with their offense, and their defense is just going to try and strangle them the remainder of the game. I have actually ties to most of these games, especially this one with Jonathan Taylor. I'm hoping that if the rookie for the Colts plays, they just give Jonathan Taylor the ball the entire game, just let him run that ball. But, that's personal beliefs for me. But I think the Seahawks are going to win this one, and it's going to be pretty big. Then we go to the game where I think people are going to watch for the fact that it's going to be interesting this year. We have the Los Angeles Chargers with the offensive player of the year, offensive rookie of the year. Sorry, man, Justin Jefferson. He came behind Justin Herbert. My bad. But I think Justin Herbert's got a lot to prove. I think since he won that award, they're expecting him now to make the next step, the next major step, and at least they could fight and contend against the Kansas City Chiefs, which, again, it'll be good if he can, but I don't think he's going to. But I think they have a good enough odds in this game that if he performs well enough, like he did his rookie year, he has the foundation right now to set himself up for a really, really good second year in the NFL. But that front seven for the Washington football team's defense is no joke either. Chase Young is a good and probably once-in-a-lifetime player in terms of his defensive skills. And I honestly think this is a toss-up game. This is really a toss-up game. You do not know what's going to happen. Fitzpatrick is most likely going to start for the Washington football team, and we don't know which Fitzpatrick we're going to get. Is it the Fitzpatrick that we get every year for the first 5 games where he's really, really good, and then he's off for 10, and he's good in the last game of the year? We don't know. But I'm actually going to go with the Chargers to win this one. It's only a 1-point favorite. That's actually pretty narrow margin of victory for the point spread. I would bet that the Chargers are going to win by at least 3 against this team. If their defense is as good as I think it's good enough to be against this team, their offense is the problem for the Washington football team because they don't have much in terms of big name and big targeted players that can help them push over the Chargers. So I'm going to Chargers win this one. Then we come to the New York Jets playing the Carolina Panthers. Sam Darnold playing his former team. This is going to get really interesting. I believe the Panthers are going to win this one big. They're going to want to win this one big, but I like the rookie in New York Jets. I like him in terms of his skill set, fits that team. He looks similar in the way that he played in the preseason to Sam Darnold when he was there. But this is a weird thing with this quarterback is that they're both technically, even though Sam Darnold's not a rookie anymore, this is basically their rookie seasons playing against each other. If the rookie that the Jets have right now, if he can freaking play phenomenal, have no major turnovers in his first NFL start, and just go out there and do what he has to do and win this game, it's going to make some noise in terms of, okay, Sam Darnold was never the guy, and he could never do it in terms of help this team get to a position where they can at least try to contend for a playoff spot or get into a contention for a wild card. Panthers, on the other hand, Sam Darnold, he's got weapons around him. He's got a great defense now. He's got a great offensive line. Oh my gosh, he should have I think he's going to have a bounce back year. I think he's going to be one of those players in fantasy that people might want to start picking up. That they might want to start having him on their radar and watch him play. The Carolina Panthers are expected to win by 5. I expect them to win by 12. I'm picking this is a major over bet if you're the spread. I'm picking the Panthers to win by 12. And that's my pick. Yeah, Panthers 12. That's simple. The Jets are horrible. The Jets have never been good ever since, honestly, Mark Sanchez was there, and that was in 2009 and 2010. That's the last time they were actually good. So, yeah, Panthers win by 12. Then we come to the Jaguars against the Texans. This is what I would call the Tank Bowl. In college, we terms this as the in college football, when the first game of the year is the number 1 seed versus the number 2, and it's like, okay, is this a potential NFC champ or a national championship bowl matchup? This is the Tank Bowl where both these teams are going to suck either way after the first game. Texans in terms of, are they going to win this game and then just tank the rest of the year and hope to God they can get some value out of Deshaun Watson and hopefully trade him, or if not, just let him go at the end of the year, pending obviously if there's criminal charges against him, but we won't go into that. And then we also have Lawrence, the quarterback for the Jaguars. Trevor Lawrence, my bad. Trevor Lawrence. I do think he's definitely the starter for this team, which they did announce. But I don't know he's going to be good. He's going to be good enough to help him win, to help him at least try to win games. But I don't trust his offense in terms of, or his defense. I don't trust his defense whatsoever, especially at the corner position. I don't trust him at all. His offense is okay enough for him to help at least try to do something, but I don't think they're good enough to win more than maybe 5 games this year. And that's pushing it. I'm picking the Jaguars to win this one, though. Against the team where the Texans, you don't know who's going to, well, we don't even know which Texans we're getting. We're going to get the tank Texans, or we're going to actually get a team that's actually going to try. We don't know. I'm going with the Jags to win this one. It's 3.5 point favorites. I'm sticking with that. I'm thinking this is going to be a pretty close game for how crappy both teams are. Then we come to the game where I think it could potentially be one of the games to watch this weekend. Excuse me. We have the Cleveland Browns going to Kansas City. This is a rematch of the divisional round in the playoffs from last year. This is going to get interesting because the Browns have to make a massive improvement this year in terms of they have arguably one of the best defenses in the league. They arguably got one of the best offenses in the league based on paper. But the Chiefs have the best offense in the league, according to paper. They got the best quarterback in the league, which is a fact, based on age and his skills and everything. And they also have, I think, one of the best coaches in the league, in Andy Reid, who I like Andy Reid as a coach. I really do. I expect the Chiefs. This game is going to be like a feel-out game to determine for fans we know the Chiefs are going to be in the playoffs. We just don't know how good they're going to be come playoff time. Are they going to be like they were when they went to the Super Bowl the first time, where they were just so dominant going into there, or are they just going to be like last year's team where they got to the Super Bowl but they couldn't do anything? But that was also due to injuries to the offensive line. But again, it is what it is. I expect the Chiefs to win this game. I expect them to win it pretty good. I'm not going to expect more than maybe like 5 points, but again, against this defense of the Cleveland, that might just be enough. And Cleveland's got a lot to prove this year. I'm expecting them to at least fight for the North to win it for the first time in years. But I'm not picking them to win it, though. Chiefs are going to win this game by less than 6 points. And that is actually the spread, too. The Chiefs are favored to win by at least 6. I'm picking them to going to win at least by 5. Then we come to the Miami Dolphins playing the New England Patriots with Mac Jones as their starting quarterback. Who would have thought we would have seen the day that Cam Newton gets kicked off of the Patriots for basically being not understanding the COVID protocols and then being off the field, and then Mac Jones getting more time and being more consistent in terms of his play on the field, and ends up stealing the job from Cam Newton. This is really good in terms of you're having a rookie quarterback going against the Dolphins, who had a rookie last year in Tua playing. And Tua is now getting officially the lead role as the quarterback. He's actually going to be handed the reins and not have to worry about his backup. It's going to be a very interesting year for the Dolphins. I think the Dolphins are, last year, they made an improvement again to 10 wins. They just missed by 1 game getting into the playoffs. I do think they're going to be in the playoffs this year. I think they're going to be in the wild card round. But I think they're going to win this game. I think Tua is going to want to make a statement in this game against the Patriots and to Dolphins fans who are thinking that he's probably not the answer, that he is the quarterback for their future right now. He is the one who's going to lead this team back to, not to a Super Bowl win, but back to the prominence of we can contend for the playoffs every year as long as I'm quarterback and we're healthy and we have the weapons to do so. I'm picking the Dolphins to win this game. The Patriots are 2.5-point favorites because they're at Foxborough. It's hard to win in New England against the Belichicks. Because again, obviously, excluding controversies with headgears or headsets and everything going down, but it's just hard to win in New England. It's hard to win, and you might want to play them. You want to play New England early in the year and beat them at home when the weather is not as favorable to them as it is later in the year. So Dolphins are going to win. I think they're going to win. And I think they'll win by at least 3. Then we come to the Packers up against the New Orleans Saints, which the game is now officially announced. It's going to be in Jacksonville. So, yeah. After an unfortunate thing, the 16 years on the day when Hurricane Ida came through, it was 16 years ago on the same day that Hurricane Katrina went through New Orleans. And unfortunately, they're underwater right now, which is I'm sending out my thoughts and prayers to the whole city and whole state of Louisiana and to New Orleans and everyone who was caught in that. But this is going to be a very good game, and yes, it's a neutral site. It's a neutral site. I'm glad they didn't put it in anywhere that could have a slightly more home advantage. It's still a neutral site, but Aaron Rodgers coming off this year, contemplating retirement, actually telling the team he will retire if he was not given his way. They gave his way. He got Randall Cobb. He got a contract that is more favorable to him in terms of letting him go at the end of the year. Jameis Winston officially the starter for the Saints. The first time we're going to see a quarterback at the Saints since Drew Brees was the quarterback, so it's a brand new era for the Saints. Packers are favored to win this game by 4. Against this Packers, against the Saints defense, I actually feel pretty good if I'm Aaron Rodgers. Jameis Winston, yes, he's built somewhat of a connection with one of the wide receivers we saw in the last preseason game. I can't think of the name of can't think of the name of the wide receiver, but I can visualize him. I'll end up looking at that afterwards, but I think the Packers are going to win this one. The Packers defense is still as good as it was last year. If not, it's even better. They upgraded their defensive weapons, and they have weapons now on offense that they brought Randall Cobb back, like I said. Great pickup. They re-signed A.J. Dillon in the offseason, which was a massive thing they should have done. Devontae Adams is coming back probably for his last year as well in Green Bay. This is going to be a good year, I think, for Green Bay. I don't think Green Bay is going to go to the Super Bowl, but they actually are my Super Bowl pick. But I don't think they're going to actually go there, though. I think they're going to go back to the NFC Championship at least. And why not play against the Saints, against a Breeless Saints, Breezeless Saints, and win that game pretty good. Not in New Orleans and have to worry about that crowd, which is always ravenous when it goes off in the now Caesars Superdome. Now, we come to the game where I think is going to get very interesting. The Broncos and the Giants. This is funny because this is a year for the Giants where if Daniel Jones doesn't even do up to the standards of, no, I'm not saying Eli, but do Eli-esque things in terms of actually trying to contend for a division. Try to beat more than just, the Washington football team. Try to actually fight for a title in your division. Try to actually play good with the weapons you have on defense now, the weapons you're getting back on offense with now Saquon Barkley coming back from an injury. You better win this game, Daniel Jones. You better win pretty much. You better have a shot to at least make playoffs, or you're gone at the end of the year. Unfortunately, he's going to be gone if they don't make the play. If they don't even attempt to make the playoffs. The Broncos are favored to come into New York and win this game with Teddy Bridgewater at the quarterback, who I actually like in terms of that system. That system is going to do well for him. I also have players in this game. I have Jerry Jeudy in this game. I think he's going to have a good year this year. But who knows? I'm actually picking the Broncos to win this game. I'm picking them to win this game. The line is 2.5, the Broncos. I'm saying they're going to win by at least 4. And that's not saying much. I'm not that confident in it. But the Broncos are going to win. And I think Daniel Jones is going to keep it close, but I think the Broncos win. Then we come to the Sunday night football game, which really shouldn't be a Sunday night football game. The Rams are hosting the Chicago Bears. Matt Stafford is in a team and in a situation where he has weapons, he has a defense. He has a good chance of actually succeeding if he can get to the playoffs and actually show what he can do in the playoffs. It's too early to tell. I'm a little bit concerned about the Rams' running backs. They, for some reason, they're getting injured. And again, it might be the lack of, training in terms of, physically trying to be there. But who knows? Again, maybe these are just freak accidents. We'll see. But I'm picking the Rams to win this one. I don't like the Bears starting Andy Dalton over Justin Fields. I think Justin Fields should be the starter. But again, the Bears are going to have to learn the hard way as it goes. They're going to have to learn the hard way in terms of realizing that Andy Dalton is no longer a starting quarterback in this league. His time is done. It's now time for other players like Justin Fields, who is ready to start in this league. Let the rookie start and show him what he can do. Rams win this game. 7.5 is actually pretty good. I'm saying the Rams win this by 5. Then we come to the final game of the year. We have the Baltimore Ravens playing the Las Vegas Rams in Las Vegas. This is actually going to be a pretty good game. I'm picking the Ravens to win this one. It's going to be, if there's fans there, it's going to get hard to win in the black hole in terms of all their fans. The Raiders fans are one of the most enthusiastic fan bases in the league. Even though I would hate being there as an opponent's fan, but I would love that energy to be there and embrace it and enjoy it. The Raiders, for some reason, whenever you play them, are always better at home based on the crowds in with them, and they're actually fighting to try and make sure they get the game close and then force you to make mistakes with that crowd. I think as long as there's crowds there, this game should be pretty close. If there's no crowds there, up to the point where it can cause problems for the offense for the Ravens, it's not going to get close. I do believe Lamar is going to take a step forward this year in terms of his skill set, in terms of he's going to be more in the pocket. He's not going to try and run as much, but he's going to run, given an opportunity. If he knows he can run for it, he's going to go for it. But I'm picking the Ravens to win this one. I'm picking the Ravens to win this one by 4.5 is the spread. I'll pick the Ravens to win this one by 5. It's going to be a good game either way. For fantasy owners, you're watching this game for Lamar. I'm watching this for Marquise Brown to see how well he does. I know a couple of my buddies and their friends and dads have some players in this game that they're going to watch. But overall, it's going to be pretty good. But we'll see how it goes. Based off that, we'll go through this again here to remind everyone, since I know it was a long video to start off week 1. We have the Bucks, we have the Eagles, we have the Bills, we have the Vikings, we have the Niners, we have the Cardinals, we have the Seahawks, we have the Chargers, we have the Panthers, we have the Jags, we have the Chiefs, we have the Dolphins, we have the Packers, we have the Broncos, we have the Rams, and then we have the Ravens winning week 1 to start off the 2021 NFL season. Boy, I love football. I missed it. I'm glad some stadiums are going to allow fans. It's going to be great to see the fans back there, and the players are going to be so enthusiastic to see these fans back after having a year away from them, like 2020 with COVID and all that. And yes, COVID's still there, which it is what it is. People are vaccinated. People are unvaccinated. I'm not going to get into that. It's none of my business. But it's going to be great seeing these fans back. It's going to be great. It's going to get the players motivated, not to hear the fake noise and just actually see the fans cheering for them again. I wish everyone good luck to start the year. Let's have a good year of football. Let's hope there's no breakouts and let's just have football and not have to worry through that bull crap like it was last year for especially my Pittsburgh Steelers. Let's hope there's no bull crap this year in terms of scheduling. Enjoy the games. Let's have fun and enjoy this 2021 to 2022 season, and let's have a good time. Thank you all for watching. If you stayed in for this whole video, I appreciate it. I'll be doing weekly uploads as the season goes on. If whoever's in the chat, I sent my link to my buddies. When they're in, I'll be updating you week by week on who's leading up from 1st to 5th place just to make it interesting. I will announce prizes at week 5 in terms of what will be for 1st place and 2nd place. And obviously, if there's a tie, I'll make a decision on that. But we'll see how it goes. Enjoy some football this year, everyone. We got less than a week of football. Less than actually exactly a week before the football season starts. Let's enjoy this. Let's have a good time. And go Steelers.